Okay, so we'll have a look at indices. Okay, so here we've got 4 to the power of 3. Now this power here is what we call an index. It's also called an exponent, okay, or we often refer to it as a power. And all it means is this tells you how many times this number is going to multiply itself by itself. So 4 to the power of 3 is 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, it's going to multiply itself 3 times. Okay, don't make the mistake that it's 3 times 4. Okay, now if we have something to the power of 2, then we say that it's being squared. If it's to the power of 3, quite often you'll come across it and they'll say it's cubed. And then 4 and above, we just say to the power of 4 to the power of 5, to the power of 6. Okay, you don't have to call this squared, you don't have to call this cubed, you can say to the power of 2, to the power of 3. And it really is that simple. Now if we have, let's say we've got 7 squared multiplied by 7 cubed, or 7 to the power of 2 times 7 to the power of 3. Now if we want to give our answer in index form, which means it's going to be 7 to the power of something, because these, I call them parent numbers, the parent numbers must be the same. 7 squared is 7 times 7 times 7 to the power of 3, which is 7 times 7 times 7. So what we've got there is 7 multiplying itself 5 times. So 7 to the power of 2 times 7 to the power of 3 is 7 to the power of 5. Now I can't be asked with writing this all out, okay, but what I can see is that if I add 2 plus 3, I get my power 5. So the rule is when we're multiplying, we add the powers. Okay, so 6 to the power of 4 multiplied by 6 to the power of 2 will give me 6 to the power of 4 plus 2, which is 6. That's it, job done. Equally, if I've got 5 to the power of 7 divided by 5 to the power of 3, if when I multiply I add, when I divide I must subtract. So 7 minus 3 is 4, so I get 5 to the power of 4. Okay, the reason that it's like this is if I've got, let's say I've got 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 divided by 5 times 5. So what we've got here is 5 to the power of 4, because I've got 4 5s, being divided by 5 to the power of 2. Now, if I do what I know is right, 4 minus 2, then I get 5 to the power of 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. The reason that it is like this is because if I write this out, I can cancel that 5 with that 5 and that 5 with that 5, which just leaves me 5 times 5, which is 5 squared, or 5 to the power of 2. So rather than write all this out and then cancel everything, I know that if I just subtract one power from the other, then this works. Okay, it always works. But what's important is these numbers must be the same. Okay, if we had 4 to the power of 3, say, by 3 to the power of 2, we can't do anything with that. We'd have to find out what that is as a real number, what that is as a real number, and then multiply them together. Okay? Now sometimes you will see a power in brackets. Okay, so let's say we've got 2 to the power of 3 all squared. Okay, so what they mean by this is 2 to the power of 3 is being squared. Okay, so if we're being squared, or if something's being squared, it's itself times itself. So that will be 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 3. Now when we do this, we know we add the powers. So we get 2 to the power of 6. So the answer to this must be 2 to the power of 6. And I can see that if I add 3 plus 2, I don't get 6. But I know that if I multiply 3 times 2, I get 6. So if this is in a bracket and it's raised to a power, this is what we call it, we multiply the powers. Okay, so if we've got if we've got 7 to the power of 4 all to the power of 3, then that would be 7 to the power of 4 times 7 to the power of 4 times 7 to the power of 4. I can't be bothered with writing that out. So my answer is 7, and 3 times 4 is 12. That's it. That really is it. Okay. Now sometimes we have negative powers. Now these are the easiest ones of all. If I've got 2 to the power of minus 2, the minus means, and always means, 1 over. It will always be 1 over. So the minus means 1 over. So now we're left with 2 squared. Okay, and 2 squared is 2 times 2, so we know that that's 4. So 2 to the minus 2 is 1/4. Okay, so whenever you see a minus power, it's always 1 over, and then you just do what's necessary here. Okay, so if we have 3 to the power of minus 3, well, it's minus, so it's 1 over 3 to the power of 3. Okay, now they don't want this, they want to know exactly what sort of fraction it is. So 3 to the power of 3 is 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 3s are 9, and 3 9s are 27. So 3 to the power of minus 3 is 1/27. Okay, so whenever you see a minus power, it's always 1 over. And now sometimes you will see fractional powers, okay? And when people see this, they all freak, and if you freak as well, don't worry, it's fine, it's just nobody's showing you. So let's say we have 4 to the power of 3 over 2, okay? Now if I rewrite this power, just to explain, okay, the bottom part of the fraction is the root, and the top part of the fraction is the power raised, okay, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Okay, so here we've got 3 over 2. So what that means is we want, because it's 2, we want the square root of 4, and then when we get our answer we take the top part of the fraction and we're going to cube it. Okay, so all I've done is rewritten what this means. Okay, now the square root of 4 is 2, and now we've got to cube it because the top part of the fraction tells us to, and 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, so 2 2s are 4, 2 4s are 8. So 4 to the power of 3 over 2 is 8. Okay. Now, if we just write a root sign like this, this is automatically a square root. We don't write the 2 outside, okay? But you can have the 5th root, okay? You can have the 19th root, okay? So go away, go away. So if we have so let's have 27 to the power of 2/3. Okay, so remember, this is the root and this is the power we raise it to. So this is the cubed root. So because it's cubed, we write 3 outside so that everybody knows that it's the cubed root of 27, and then we're going to square our answer. Okay, now what the cubed root means is what number times itself, okay, 3 times, will give me 27. Now if you don't know, always start low. Okay, so 2 times 2 is 4 and 2 4s are 8. No good, we want 27. So now we're going to go with 3. So 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 9s are 27. So the cubed root of 27 is 3, okay, because it would have to be 3 times 3 times 3. So now we know the cubed root of 27. Remember, we've got to square it. And 3 squared is just 3 times 3, which is 9. So 27 to the power of 2/3 is 9. Okay, now this just comes with practice. Excuse me, sorry, I've got a sticky throat. This just comes with practice. And like I say, if you don't know the root of a number, you won't be given a number that you won't have a root to. So always start low because you'll be surprised how quickly numbers rack up. Like 64, the cube root of 64 is only 4, because 4 4s are 16 and 4 16s are 64. So you probably won't get anything other than squared roots or cube roots. Okay, so I hope that's helped. So multiplying indices, dividing indices, really easy. Negative powers, even easier, because it's 1 over. Oh, if it's in brackets, you just multiply the powers, and then if you've got a fractional index, then the bottom is the root of the number and the top is the power that you raise it to. Okay, so I hope that's helped, and I hope it might help you with the assignment. If you need any more help, you know where I am, and I'm going to make one a video on standard form as well now, because we've got one for cert. Okay, so I hope that's helped, and just carry on doing what you're doing.